3, 2, 1.
Put everything down and crank your speakers up.
It's time for
The Realest Podcast.
Oh yeah!
We got us a new world champion!
And what is going on, guys? You're listening to the Realest Podcast, and welcome to February 21st, 2017 Smackdown Live Review. Joined by Andrew, of course, and tonight was honestly and truthfully a very solid Smackdown. Through thick and thin,
all
it
around.
was a very solid Smackdown. So one of my main issues as of right now with Raw is we don't know where anything is going at all when it comes to storylines. Today, all within a main event and a Falls Count Anywhere match, we learned where just about 90% of every storyline's direction today.
Yeah, and it didn't take too long to establish either, which was, great. I mean, once we pretty much got to the Falls Count Anywhere match and saw the finish, I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, it was very well done. Today, all around was very well done. Stories were there. The only complaint that I have storyline wise is 100% Jamie Kenny. Jamie Kenny says Miz and Maurice versus Cena and Nikki is definitely happening. Yeah, that got confirmed 100%. There's no way around that. That got confirmed. That's going to happen.
Our greatest fears have come to reality.
Yeah, of course we all don't like it, but again, let's see where it goes, because SmackDown delivers. They really do deliver. Let's see where they go with this today, with that storyline. Personally, I want this to be very, very personal. Very personal. And before we get into the SmackDown Live review, be sure to hit that subscribe button, the red button right below the screen that you're looking at right now. 100% free. Don't have to worry about paying or anything. Also, hit that notifications button. We go live every Monday night, every Tuesday night with the Raw and SmackDown Live review. We also go live before and after a pay-per-view, including NXT Live or NXT TakeOver events. We give our predictions before the show, and then, of course, we give our thoughts, and we let everyone know the results of the show. And we usually go on for a while talking about the show, if we liked it, if we disliked it. So be sure to do that. Joined by Andrew, I'm Blake Carter. Let's get into this SmackDown Live review. So SmackDown immediately jumps off, and we see Naomi come out very emotional. And, this is one of those things that really suck to watch. As you guys are seeing on your screen, of course, you're seeing Naomi give her title to Daniel Bryan, and one thing that really hit me was, just as well as I do, my WrestleMania is done.
Yeah, at that point. And that's what she said. She's like, if I give you this title, I know that I'm pretty much not in WrestleMania.
Yeah. And, she really has earned where she is, and she has earned that belt. A lot of people don't think that, she should have had the belt when she got it. Part of me wants to agree, but at the same time, you never want to see this happen. She deserved it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I was one of those people, in terms of, I think that she earned it, and I'm glad that she got it. But I honestly think if she was going to win the title, it should have been in Orlando. It would have been more magical there. But, it just, the injuries, man, the injuries pile up. Last year was terrible with injuries. And, this year was really good. We were really hopeful. It's like, wow, everybody's healthy. Nothing's going wrong. And, a few weeks ago, Seth Rollins goes down, and we're not sure what's going on there. And we won't know until next week, I'm sure. And, now it's Naomi, and she's out. And it's just like, wow. Everything's piling up at once, and it's terrible. I mean, you could set aside things like Emma and who else was out for injury that really wasn't important. Tamina was out, but it wasn't earth shattering. But it stinks when you have somebody that becomes champion and then all of a sudden an injury keeps him sidelined.
Yeah. Jamie says injuries are coming out of nowhere. They always do, man. They always do. Uh, it's still up in the air on what Finn Balor's storyline is going to be. I know that they are still really teasing Finn. I know that they have a WWE 24 filmed and basically ready to go for his return. And if the most recent WWE 24 when it comes to those regards of an injury is Seth Rollins. That was an outstanding WWE 24's redesign, rebuild, reclaim, outstanding event. Showed him watching WrestleMania. Showed the emotion of him getting very upset that he had to watch WrestleMania. So I am glad they gave it back to Alexa Bliss. I am. I think she's, her and Becky Lynch have really carried that division. And I think she's, without a doubt, the best women's champion that they have right now. I think it's going to be Finn and Joe, in my opinion. It's up in the air. Again, like we started off the show, SmackDown delivered storylines. We know what storylines is going. We're getting we're getting more than a month to build these storylines. Now, with Raw, it's still up in the air. It's like we're waiting. We're gonna wait until after Fastlane. It's like I understand part of it, but at the same time, it's like, come on. Like the only storyline that we really know is gonna happen after Fastlane is Goldberg and Lesnar, and we know for a fact. I mean, if you can honestly sit down and actually right here tell me that Goldberg isn't coming out of Fastlane the champion, I don't know. I need to know why you don't think that. 100%. What's up, All Time Vids? All Time Vids is the one who said injuries are coming out of nowhere and that he thinks that Finn and Joe is going to happen at WrestleMania. Michael says AJ Styles' feet definitely touched first. Logically, they should have been reviewed. That's why they didn't show a replay.
Yeah,
it got botched.
Yeah, and that's what I told my sister because as soon as this match started, but even before that, I called that Luke Harper and AJ Styles could be the last two, and I was like, watch them do like a little tie. And I thought that when they climbed the ropes the first time, that what they were going to do is they're going to punch each other and both just kind of like fall back. And, at least then, each person is at a level playing field to where they could have landed and said, okay, they both hit the floor at the same time. But the way in which they did it, they had Luke Harper's suplex.
It's like
AJ Styles.
It's like they chose the most difficult thing to do out of all that.
Yeah. Because when you do a suplex, obviously the person who's being suplexed is going to hit first from the ring. It's unavoidable. And like Luke Harper, he kind of suplexed him and then jumped out real quick to try to even it out. But I don't know, man. Like they had the opportunity to do a tie, and the way they chose to do it just wasn't the smart idea. And that's why you're not seeing a replay because obviously AJ Styles touched first, and they want the controversy for next week.
Let me ask you, and everyone in the comments, I want you guys to answer this too. So I personally, Monday Night Raws don't come around the area I live in. They go to Houston a lot. I live in a place called Beaumont, Texas. It's an hour away from Houston. So it's like, needless to say, buying a ticket for Raw, driving an hour and a half to Houston, and then doing all that is kind of, I personally think it's a waste of money. That's why I wait till pay-per-views come down to Houston to go. But let me ask you this. Andrew, I know you go to a lot of SmackDowns and Raws that go to Philadelphia. Anybody in the chat, I want you guys, again, to answer this. Would you be mad with the ending? You as a spectator,
tonight's show?
Yeah, would you be mad with tonight's ending as a spectator? Like, really? Like, this is the main event, and this is what's going to happen? We got to wait till next week to find out?
Oh, absolutely. Because, like in every other Royal Rumble match, there's either two ways in which that match would have ended. Either they accept the tie and both people go on to the championship match, or they restart the match, and that's what's most common is they restart the match. So for them not to restart the match and be like, okay, well, we're going to settle this next week. If it were me, I would have been, throwing a fit. And you could hear the crowd tonight in L.A. Man, they were not happy.
Was it L.A. tonight?
And, rightfully so. I think it was L.A.
I don't think it was L.A. That was not an L.A.
I think it was
crowd.
L.A.
Because last night was an L.A. crowd, and L.A. was dead last night. You're going to make me look.
I think they were in L.A. They said they're in L.A.
They might be in California.
They're probably still in California, though.
Man, you're gonna make me look.
But I don't know, man. Like I've been to live shows where they've done like really good stuff, and I've been to shows where they've done really bad stuff. So I don't know. As a fan, you go in there, you're paying your money, you expect to get what you want, and to have it end like that. See that's I don't like big matchups for your main event on Raws or Smackdowns because they only give them like 20 minutes. You know, like if I'm gonna go see a main event and it's supposed to be really good, I really want to see the full extent of it, not like a 20-minute rushed match.
Right.
And that's what you get, you know, for Raw or SmackDown. If you always look towards the main event, it's always the last 16 to 18 minutes is
They're in
actual
Ontario,
wrestling.
California.
All right, so they're still in California.
All time Vid says I'd be pissed because I would be expecting a winner, but get a bullshit finish and then you have to watch it on TV the next week rather than live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but it was very clear that AJ hit first, and again, that's why we didn't see.
A replay.
That's
Yeah.
why we didn't see a replay. We will not see a replay of that. We'll just hear them say that they hit at the same time, and we'll also see this. I was honestly waiting for Shane McMahon to come out, and I was waiting for Shane to basically say, "Well, Luke hit, or AJ hit first. Luke wins."
Yeah,
AJ Styles.
I was thinking that might happen when he decided to do suplex. I was like, why would they do something like that? Like something that's so obvious to like make a mistake for. It's just I'm like, okay, so Shane's gonna come out and do something about it. Nope. I'm like, okay.
So in reality, the only people that really don't have a storyline heading forward is AJ Styles and Luke Harper. But then again, we're going to be seeing that next week. But I mean, we kind of have an idea where Luke Harper's going to go. AJ's still like up. I mean, we have an idea. Excuse me, but it's still up in the air. Alexa Bliss also doesn't have a really a direction right now. Becky Lynch and Mickie James sort of have a direction, but who are you going to put up against Alexa Bliss?
Can't be Nikki Bella anymore because she's locking a feud with The Miz.
Her, Maurice, and Maurice her and Maurice are technically about to get into it.
Yeah, so I mean, you kind of take that away, and it's kind of like, all right, well, who you got left? I mean, you had Naomi, but she's out now.
You have Natalya. You could throw Natalya up there. That's two heels. So you have Natalya, Becky Lynch, Mickie James, and that's it. Honestly, not that upset. It adds to the frustration for Daniel Bryan to make a match. Yeah. Again, if I'm not mistaken, Daniel Bryan's going to be getting fired. That way he can become a father. So he's going to be getting fired, and if I'm in the replacement's apparently going to be Kurt Angle. I would love that. So, and I know Mick Foley's on the urge of getting fired too. So if Mick Foley gets fired, I think they need to get a heel general manager. They need the heel general manager because it is very awkward. Very awkward.
With Foley and
Mick and
Steph.
Stephanie. It is a very weird vibe when it comes to those two because it's like at one moment Mick is very, very heel-like, and then it's the next is like, let me do my job. Don't make me look like an idiot. Mick.
Yeah.
Mick is. I wouldn't blame Mick to be the only reason why Raw is bad. Mick is trying. I think he's overdoing it with his whole inside joke of showing his hand and then giving the location. I think that's getting a little old now, but I wouldn't go off and say Mick is a sole reason why Raw is bad.
No, it's a collective effort. I mean, you can't really blame the talent as much. I mean, to some extent, there are certain talents that don't really help themselves, but I mean, overall, it's the writing staff.
Yeah, it really is. It's also obvious story-wise. We also didn't mention them that American Alpha is going to be facing the Usos at WrestleMania. I actually can see that being really good. The Usos have been a very good and hot tag team as heels. So I'm interested in seeing where that goes.
Yeah.
American Alpha, in my opinion, are in desperate need of a good feud.
I mean, I like the Usos. I like them as heel. The only thing that really gets to me is I hate the kind of gimmick they chose for heel, because they kind of like turn into these gangster kids, and it's really starting to bother me now, because I'm like, like you really want to promote like the whole hood life, the thug life kind of thing. I'm like you can be a heel without being a gangster, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's just like I like them being a heel. I like what they're doing as a heel. It's just I don't like what they chose for their gimmick, or whatever WWE chose for the gimmick. I guess you could say.
Now, Vids, if you're referring to, you can see the SmackDown Tag Team Championships being on the line on the pre-show for WrestleMania. I am going to be straightforward with this. There should not be one single title on the pre-show. If you do that, those titles are ruined. I mean, look at the United States title at last year's WrestleMania. I mean, people were still... There wasn't anybody in AT&T Stadium, basically, when they did that match. The Usos promo was beautiful. It was a very good promo. It was a very good promo. I 100% back that up. It's just like all American... Like, I get American Alpha is a bunch of wrestlers, but it's like that's literally all they do. They never talk on the mic.
I mean, they can talk on the mic if they gave them the opportunity to. I mean, they're not. It's not that they're bad on the mic. It's just that they haven't really. And this is the one thing you could really fault SmackDown for, is that they're really not giving American Alpha the time of day. And I honestly think that's because of the shuffling they had to do because of the Mojo Rawley injury. I don't think Bray Wyatt was supposed to win the championship as soon as they did. I think that was all an audible after injury with. Well, no, I mean, like I didn't think that he was going to win the title. Yeah, I couldn't have called that months ahead of time. Is what I'm saying. But like after Zack Ryder hurt his leg, I couldn't see the Wyatt family losing their championships, and then Bray Wyatt obviously winning the WWE championship. I would have never called that. I would have been like, if you were to sit me aside before that whole Zack Ryder incident and say the Wyatt family's going to win the titles and going to lose it in less than a month, and Bray Wyatt's going to win the Elimination Chamber and become the champion, I wouldn't have been able to predict that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing about injuries, man. The injuries changed the game so much. I mean, you could think about how much changed just because of that Zack Ryder injury. And then you have Seth Rollins to worry about, and then you have Naomi to worry about. It's just all building up, and things are getting shuffled around last minute.
All-Time Vids is sitting here saying that every single SmackDown title will be on the pre-show except for the WWE title. I don't think that'll happen because you cannot forget that WrestleMania is going to be 5 hours long. It starts at 5 o'clock Central. So that's a lot.
I could see the Raw Tag Team Championships being on the pre-show.
If you want me to be honest with you, I think the only one thing that should be on the pre-show is the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial, and then something stupid just to put filler. I think there should be only 2 matches in the pre-show, and other than that, it's everyone just talking about everything. There's zero reason why we should have a title on the pre-show, and if they're trying to attract viewers for that, shame on WWE. Shame on them.
You should never put a title on the pre-show.
No.
It just goes all. It just shows it's like a slap in the face. But I mean, man, every title should be defended at WrestleMania. I don't want to see any titles not being defended.
I agree with that too. WrestleMania is the Super Bowl. I'm excited for Dean versus Baron. I am too, and to make me super with a big chub, I'd love to have a big hardcore stipulation. I'd love to see a stipulation to that because Baron would do it.
Please no chairs match.
Baron would do it, and Dean is open to doing it too. And I think that those two are just going to tear the house down. But there's zero reason why there should be a title on the pre-show, ever. I mean, the SmackDown title match for the Royal Rumble was good. Or, SmackDown title. The Raw Tag Team Championships was good on the Rumble. You think they would learn from SummerSlam that long shows don't work? Yeah, long shows don't work, but other than other than the Royal Rumble match itself, the Royal Rumble was just as long as SummerSlam and Survivor Series, and it was, honestly and truthfully, it was a solid pay-per-view.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, you got to remember that you have like twice as many titles as last year's WrestleMania. So, like in reality, that 5-hour show is really a godsend when it comes to trying to give time to all those championships.
Yeah, and you don't want to have a championship be 15 minutes long either.
No, I mean, at least when you have 5 hours to work with, you can even it out and give most of the title matches a good solid, 20 to 30 minutes.
But no, but Michael, I agree with you. Or I agree and disagree with you. Let me say that Royal Rumble worked, but there was only the cruiserweight. There was one SmackDown match versus the WWE Championship. There was the cruiserweight, Universal, and the women's title match, and every single match was solid. Every single one of them, except for the Royal Rumble match itself. So they can do it. It's just them actually doing it, which is where, SummerSlam was bad. But then again, you kind of could figure that SummerSlam would be bad because each show had no story going. Like, the storylines were very rushed because of where the draft was. I think it was 2 weeks? 2 weeks after? Or 2 weeks before SummerSlam? Gives you 2 weeks for stories for SummerSlam, which is basically your number 2 show of the year.
Right.
Survivor Series, I mean, what killed that was the fact that every single Survivor Series match was nothing but a Survivor Series elimination match. And, I mean, the highlight of the night was Brock beating, or there was 2 highlights. It was Goldberg beating Brock, which wasn't even that great. It was kind of annoying. And then the second one being the men's Raw versus SmackDown match, which was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I just really hope, for our sakes, for everyone's sakes, that they actually do good this WrestleMania. I really don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to be like, oh, TakeOver is so much better than WrestleMania.
They could. The Royal Rumble gave me high hopes. They can. And, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that they will, because I don't know, but they can. We'll see what happens. For WrestleMania to get all the matches in, it needs to be long. Yeah, I mean, it does. Because, I mean, title matches-wise, assuming that every match is on the card, you have the SmackDown Women's Championship, that's 1. SmackDown Tag Team Championships, Intercontinental title, WWE Championship. That's 4 already. And last year you had the Intercontinental title on the main card. You had the Intercontinental title, the Women's Championship, and the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. There's only 3. So this time you already have 4. You already have more than last year. Then you have the Cruiserweight Championship. Then you add the Raw Women's title. Then you add the Universal title, the U.S. title. That's 8 total championships. There's no reason why they can't fit all of those onto the WrestleMania card. And then you put in Triple H versus Seth Rollins. Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. You can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, there's so many matches that, really could fit in there. I mean, you got 8 championship matches plus the Undertaker match plus whatever Samoa Joe was doing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you're looking at 10 matches right there.
Yeah, and let's also talk about this because, this actually got overshadowed because of the outcome and the storyline that got put into this. But we can't forget that Falls Count Anywhere match between Natalya and Nikki Bella was outstanding. Very good match. Very good match. When was the last time we had a Falls Count Anywhere match really that good?
Not in a long time, honestly. Not in recent memory.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as I saw that super bright blonde in the background, I was like, oh, there she is.
I was waiting for Maurice to come out somewhere.
Oh, yeah. As soon as she got speared into the curtain, it was like, okay, Maurice is going to come out anytime and just, curse Nikki Bella out in French, and then do whatever she needs to do. But
And then the Miz comes out and rips her apart and be like, "You can't do that."
but is Maurice ready for it? She hasn't wrestled in years. She's been around, but she hasn't wrestled in years. You think she's ready?
I hope so. I
Because
mean, give her like a match or two to warm up. I mean, you could put her up against somebody like Carmella, kind of get the ring rust
we
off.
forgot her. We honestly and truthfully, that just shows Carmella's importance to SmackDown right now. Forgot all about her and mentioning her for the title.
Well, I'm sure James Ellsworth is gonna make a WrestleMania moment of some sort.
Oh, you know he'll
And at
be
the
in the
Andre the Giant.
he'll be in the Andre the Giant
Memorial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be in that. And he'll make some laugh. Oh, we also can't forget that Shaq and Big Show are gonna be wrestling.
Oh man, yeah. That's not gonna be a pre-show match, but that probably should be a pre-show match.
Yeah. I love how they tried showing like what Big Show could do, and it was just sitting there, just like it wasn't that good.
No, apparently people are crazy about that match last night.
I was impressed with Braun Strowman, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I was impressed with Big Show.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, like the match last night wasn't as stellar as the Mark Henry, Braun Strowman match the week before. I mean, at least Mark Henry put up a fight against Braun Strowman. I mean, Big Show got his butt kicked for 16 full minutes, and then he came back and hit him with a choke slam and a knockout punch, and that was it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, at least with Mark Henry, he sold it. Like, I actually was like, wow, Mark Henry's doing a really good job against Braun Strowman. All right, Braun Strowman beat him. Well, we kind of expected that because we need Strowman to look strong. But at least with Big Show, it was kind of like he's getting tossed around like a rag doll.
Yeah, it was really slow.
That's strange.
It was slow. But
apparently it was awesome. So
well, I mean, when that's the highlight of the night, because Raw's bad, I mean, it probably would be awesome. I don't know. Like, I look forward to like 2 or 3 things as of right now with Raw. I look forward to Samoa Joe's, whatever Samoa Joe's doing. Now with Kevin Owens, I'm very interested in what Kevin Owens is doing. And I'm very interested in seeing... Honestly, I think that's it. I really do think that's it.
not excited for the women either.
No, because it's the same loop. We're literally getting the same loop over and over.
As Sasha and Charlotte.
I mean, who here in chat, you can comment on this too. Who, in reality, do you really think that Charlotte will lose her pay-per-view streak at Fastlane?
Yeah. Of all the pay-per-views.
Just think about that. At Fastlane.
Watch her lose at Fastlane now. Because it's Raw.
If she does, then that right there will be the definition. When someone says, hey, what do you think of Raw Creative? When does Charlotte lose her pay-per-view streak? At Fastlane. That's my opinion.
It's true. I mean, like, of all the places to finally lose it at Fastlane, it would just be crazy. But I just really don't like the idea of Hot Potato.
No, I've
with
never
the title.
been a fan of Hot Potato and the title. You know, at first I thought, okay, this is okay. You know, they're doing it just real quick. I'm kind of okay with this as of right now. Then it turned around and then it became a 24/7. After Bayley winning on Raw, I am convinced Charlotte won't lose at Fastlane nor WrestleMania. I think that if Charlotte is going to lose, her pay-per-view streak is going to be WrestleMania. But then again, if I'm not, the rumor is that WrestleMania for the Raw Women's title will be the entire women's division, a.k.a. Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, Bayley,
Yeah.
Charlotte.
But I honestly don't think that Charlotte should lose her streak in a Fatal 4-Way match.
I part of me wants to say yes, but at the same time, it's like I kind of want to see what Charlotte can do without the title. Even though she's as good as she is with that title, I kind of want to see what she can do without it, and what feuds they can put together. But then again, the women's division on Raw needs a big makeover, and I mean, we're at a point now where.
Well, we got
Man,
Emelina.
I look no.
I'm sorry, Emma.
Dude, I look at the Raw roster and I just think there's so many possibilities they can go with, but instead they went with one storyline basically the entire way until since SummerSlam to now, which is AKA Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins for 2 or 3 pay-per-views, Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for 2 or 3 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
When you have SmackDown, Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles. Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles. Or no, excuse me, a triple threat match. Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, John Cena. Kind of brings in something new, you know.
Mm.
Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles again, which was an outstanding main event. AJ Styles versus John Cena. The Elimination Chamber. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. And now we are where we are now. Do you get what the difference is there?
No, it's different things each time. Different people each time.
Sasha will turn, hopefully will turn heel at WrestleMania. She won't turn heel if we're looking at it smart. If we're going to be smart with this, Sasha Banks should not turn heel until she goes one-on-one with Bayley with the title. So I would hope and I would assume at SummerSlam at the Barclays Center. That's just me.
Yeah. They have to be very careful when and where they pull that trigger. Because when they do finally do it, the people are going to love it.
Yeah, well,
it's going to be exactly what
carry
we've
on the
been
show.
waiting
I'll be
for
right back.
since
I use the bathroom.
NXT. But, it's just... When you really think about it, there's a clear difference between SmackDown and Raw. And, you could see it just in the writing that's been going on here. It's just... Raw is giving such a lame product that people are getting so tired of it. And then you get to SmackDown, it's kind of like people have already either decided to tune out to SmackDown, or people are so sick with Raw that when SmackDown does finally come around, it's kind of like, well, I'm all going to watch a little bit of it. And it's a shame, too, because SmackDown's really giving the quality wrestling content as opposed to Raw, which is really, really hurting the fan base. And, it's just, it comes to the point where it's kind of like you really need to consider firing your Raw staff and just restaffing everybody, or at least mixing something up, because, it's really bad when Raw is consistently shut down by SmackDown week after week after week. And there's like 1 or 2 shows that maybe Raw will shine through, but then it just doesn't make up for the shows that are consistently bad.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just, I don't know, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating to be a fan of wrestling when it comes to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it is sometimes hard to be a fan. I mean, I'll be straight with you. I can sit right here and say, there's times where it's like, am I a fan of what I am doing or watching? Can I go to my friends and say, hey, I watch wrestling, and be confident behind it? Man, if you want my honest opinion right now, I wouldn't be. Me personally, I would not be.
I mean, unless it's
I'm not.
NXT. I mean, if you're introducing somebody to wrestling first time, I ain't showing them WWE. I'm showing them NXT. I'm showing them Wrestle Kingdom. I'm not showing them Raw or SmackDown.
This is no lie. My uncle was a wrestling fan when the Monday Night Wars were going on. So I had him watch NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, the most recent TakeOver Brooklyn with me. He sat there and said that was really good. he obviously didn't know anybody. Like he whenever we talk, I'll talk to him some wrestling. He'll say, "How'd Glorious do?" Talking about Bobby Roode and stuff like that. He doesn't know anybody, but he really enjoyed it, and he sat there and said, "Wow, that tag team match was the best match of the night." And we turned around the next day and watched SummerSlam, and he said, "Wow, that sucked."
And that's bad
This is
because
a
you're
guy
promoting
that went,
NXT.
This is also a guy that went to WrestleMania 3 and saw the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, they're promoting NXT as not so much now as before, is the developmental system. So this is where the next John Cena is supposed to come through. But how bad is it and how embarrassing is it for Vince to really look at the product and be like, okay, we've been doing this formula for years. Let's keep running it. Yeah, we're losing people, but it's going to work eventually because as long as we stick to the status quo, we're fine. And then Triple H comes along with his baby and consistently kicks down those doors and brings back a part of wrestling that fans have long missed, and that's like good, solid storytelling. I think if you're missing one thing, it's good, solid storytelling because that's what NXT does. No matter what you do, it's good, solid storytelling, and that really carries through to the matches. Not only are the matches good, but the story leading up to it is even better. Like I mean, I for one, I still to this day think that my favorite NXT feud is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Samoa Joe. When Shinsuke finally beat Joe, Joe comes out the very next night and pretty much lays down the gauntlet. You bring me Nakamura or bring me my title. And he spent the entire month just running through everybody in NXT until he finally got what he wanted, which was a rematch with Shinsuke. You don't have that type of compelling storytelling going on in WWE, and if you do have it in WWE, it's very few and far between, like Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. That's my problem with the current product.
The thing that killed that feud for me, though, is the fact that they had two title matches, one a cage match, of course, at house shows overseas. So 2 or 3 weeks before it showed on television, we already knew it was going to happen, which is really annoying because when Shinsuke won it back, we had a break. We had to say, okay, well, Shinsuke's champion again. We couldn't sit back and say, okay, well, we can't have it spoiled. That's what ruined that feud for me. I still think Joe is the best heel in the company. The dude is an outstanding heel. But, Andrew, I think we are getting to that point where we are going to have to close it off. I do think that we are going to have to. So, Smackdown overall was a good show. Solid through thick and thin. Very good show.
Definitely 7 or 8, 100%.
If Dana Brooks nor Eva Marie walks out with a title at WrestleMania, I will riot. Well, looks like you're going to be rioting by yourself. So
honestly, if they brought Eva Marie back, the only way I could see them bringing Eva Marie back at this point is if Becky Lynch won that title tonight, and then all of a sudden it's like Eva Marie's back, and a surprise entrant in some battle royal or something, and wins the championship. But people would give her so much heat for winning that championship, and you know what? WWE would have been smart to capitalize on the heat, and I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know if she's coming back. I don't know if Paige is coming back at this point. Like there's two people I was excited for. And, you're going to be surprised to hear me say this, Blake, but Eva Marie was one of them. And, I'm not a huge fan of Eva Marie when it comes to her wrestling style. I think that she's gotten significantly better since she started training with Brian Kendrick. But, the thing I liked about Eva Marie was that she was such a great heel in terms of everybody hated her. Everybody would, boo the crap out of her. They would not want to see her with the championship. And, if she were to win that championship, she'd be one of the best heels in the company, hands down.
Yeah, Michael says Raw and SmackDown should switch pay-per-views yearly. Depends on what pay-per-views you're talking about. Because if you're talking about switching SmackDown having the Royal Rumble and then Raw having Survivor Series, absolutely not. Those should stay joint pay-per-views. Those are too big of pay-per-views to just have
Yeah, I
one
mean,
brand
like
have it.
things like Elimination Chamber and No Mercy. I honestly think they should stay with one brand because, um, I don't know. It just makes one particular brand um, more wanted. Oh well, I know I have to keep watching SmackDown because eventually that Elimination Chamber match is coming up, and everybody likes the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, he's talking about having the smaller pay-per-views switch. I agree, because I know that SmackDown's getting Money in the Bank, which is, I mean, they're getting two huge pay-per-views. They got Elimination Chamber and Money in the Bank. That's big. Let's see. WWE is hyping Flair's pay-per-view undefeated streak. So yeah, and Flair's already a four-time. Just think, in 1 year she's a four-time Raw Women's Champion or Women's Champion. So, but the plan is to have Bayley defend her championship in her hometown of San Jose, California, at WWE Payback. So, needless to say, Bayley wins it back at WrestleMania, defends it at Payback.
I I
If I'm
hope
not
that they
mistaken,
don't
Trish Stratus is a
do
seven-time
this.
women's champion in
Yeah,
1 year. Charlotte is a four-time champion.
soon to be five. Soon to be five.
It took Trish Stratus' entire career, which Trish Stratus could have kept going. I mean, she just turned 40. I didn't realize how young she was. I honestly
Oh
thought she
yeah,
was in her mid-40s. I'm looking her up.
she's very young.
41 years old.
The only reason why she didn't come back and Mickey did is because she was pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
and that idea got scrapped really quickly. But I mean, like, you really
I don't
think about it.
But in reality, I don't think we would have gotten a long run though, because the reason I say that is because I think Trish would have went back to do what she was doing, back at home. I don't think she would be, part of the SmackDown Live crew.
No, I don't. There's just so much of what ifs and stuff, but I don't know, man. It's just like you look at it and it really takes away the magic. Like you said, Trish is a 7-time women's champion. I think Lita was like what, 5, 6?
Yeah.
Lita was up there. I mean, her and Trish like went back and forth with that. But in 1 year, Charlotte, has 4 championships and about to be 5. It's just, I don't know, man. It devalues it. It really does.
Yeah. But
I mean, like, that was the same thing that happened with John Cena. Like, I used to love when John Cena won the championship. I used to be excited for when John Cena was champion. But when I started seeing John Cena be champion, pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view, I got sick of it.
Yeah, and I am going to go off and say on that note, I think we are going to end the show here. Michael says, I think the Force Horsewomen will never be on the same roster at the same time. If they want to even out each women's division, they can't have all 4 of them on the same show.
It's bad enough they have 3 of them on the same show right now.
I mean, the only reason I've said this in the past many times. This is it. This is the last thing we're talking about, and then we're ending the show here.
You're putting your foot down, man.
Well, I've said this is it 3 times, and we get brought into another conversation, which I don't mind at all. But people have work tomorrow. When you look at Raw and SmackDown's roster, I want you to picture this in your head. Look at both rosters, but don't put the logo on top of them. Don't put the Raw logo on top of the Raw roster. Don't put the SmackDown logo on top of the SmackDown roster. If I told you, and of course you follow wrestling, if I told you that SmackDown is better than Raw, which roster would you think is the roster that's winning? You would sit here and you would tell me the Raw roster. And don't deny it either. You would sit here and say the Raw roster.
In terms of star power, absolutely.
And we have a women's division on SmackDown, which is on paper is a very weak women's division, looking outstanding. Then you have a Raw women's division, which on paper is outstanding, is only being held by 4 women. Technically 3 because Nia Jax is kind of just in and out.
Yeah, and I don't really think Nia Jax is really gonna play too much of a role in it. I think she'll have her title run, but I just don't see her being like a really big fixture within the championship picture. And it's just, I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, I feel like it's just because, it's hard to work with her. It really is. I mean, you have to try out new things and really trying to get away with the size difference. And like, it's not me saying that she's overweight or anything. That's not the case. It's just that with bigger people like Big Show or Baron Corbin, even it really puts a stress on the superstars to really put on a good show.
You heard
because
it here
it's hard to
first,
work
guys.
with the big guys.
Andrew does not like fat chicks.
I did not say that.
But yeah, I think I've been saying that for months that the women have really never had to deal with a bigger woman in the division, WWE wise. TNA's dealt with Awesome Kong, and they had to deal with, I don't even remember what her name was in WWE, but she ended up getting pregnant and got released.
Karma.
So they've never really had to deal with a bigger woman, and I think Nia Jax. I've said it from the get-go. I think Nia Jax got pushed real hard. He got brought up way too soon, but then again, it's Vince sucking the blood out of that Samoan bloodline.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he has 4 gallons. He has a big old gallon, and it's blood, and that's what he gets before he goes to bed, and when he wakes up, that's what he drinks. Hi, sir. What can I get you to drink today? Oh, I got my own thing. Sir, what is that? Samoan blood.
My company's just flowing with it.
Finally! What was that? Sorry, that happens every now and then. I drink it. The Rock has come back! What is wrong with you? I'm sorry. Ooh!
Roman Reigns.
Ooh, ah!
Oh, man.
Well, with that being said, I think that's where we're going to end tonight's show. Again, Raw or SmackDown was outstanding. Raw, on the other hand, again, and so I think Michael said one more thing. Played a part of the intro I didn't want to play. So, until next Monday, peace out.